See, it looks nice and green already. I mean, don't make it too green. You don't want this to look like Shrek. I think that's enough.
It's been a while since we reviewed our last curry video, and today we're going to be seeing how Hot Thai Kitchen, or Pailin's Kitchen, makes her green curry. And if you're wondering, yes, I did get my hair cut. It is quite hot here actually, and in summer, it just helps cutting your hair super short. That way, you know, you can dry it, blah, blah, blah. And well, anyway, before we get going today, guys, be sure to check out the rest of my content on YouTube, my recipe videos and reaction videos. And if you do happen to enjoy this one or the others, then be sure to give them a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started.
สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to Hot Thai Kitchen. Today we are remaking one of the very first Hot Thai Kitchen episodes I did, and it's also one of the most popular Thai dish, I guess globally. We're remaking green curry or gang Khieu Wan. Now as a review, gang is curry, Khieu is green, and Wan is sweet, even though it's not a particularly sweet curry, so I'm not quite sure where that came from. But anyhow, we're gonna get started, and it is, trust me, a new and improved recipe from last time, so if you've already made that one, this is gonna be even better.
Oh, anything would be better than Jamie's version of Thai green curry. Not to be mean, but that was a pretty tough video to watch.
So we're gonna start first with reducing our coconut milk. Okay, I've got here a cup and 3/4 of a cup of coconut milk, and I'm gonna add about 3/4, and I'm gonna reduce this until it's thickened. The coconut milk is made from oil and non-oil bits, and so as you reduce it, you destabilize that emulsion, and eventually the coconut oil will separate, and that's what we want when we make a Thai curry. If your coconut milk doesn't do that, that's totally fine. A lot of canned and processed coconut milk have been homogenized to stabilize them. It's totally fine, just follow along and I'll tell you what to do.
Now for everybody that's watching that doesn't have to deal with canned coconuts, they can just get fresh coconut milk. This is kind of what we have to deal with canned coconuts, because we don't have the luxury of being able to buy fresh coconut milk. Now, coconut milk itself is made out of the meat inside the coconut that they turn into a paste with the coconut water, I presume. I don't work in a coconut canning factory, but they make this into an emulsification. So what can happen sometimes is with the canned coconut milk is that it will actually split in the can because it sits for so long. And sometimes when you cook the you-know-what out of the coconut milk, it will split on you when making curry at home.
So I've got here some green curry paste. Now I'm not making green curry paste from scratch because that requires using green Thai chilies, which I can't find at this point. I will though include a recipe for how you can make green curry paste, so if you just want to know the ingredient list, it'll be included in the written portion.
The pains of being able to find the ingredients that you need to make a dish specifically for YouTube. It's happened a lot to me, like a lot. Last year, around this time, I wanted to make some southern niçoise, and this wasn't for YouTube, it was just for another thing. I must have gone to at least 4 different grocery stores. We have a lot here in this little area that I live in, and at least 5 or 6 different fruit shops. And only one fruit shop, one specialty store, had basil, because basil is not a very common herb to have. Well, it depends on where you live. So in some places, obviously, you can find it's more abundant than others. And well, sometimes to replicate a few of these videos or these recipes, sometimes it can be quite challenging. Yeah, very challenging, especially if we want to test any of these recipes. I will have to make some special orders to get some of the ingredients.
And then I'm also using chicken thighs today. Last time I used chicken breast, and I've decided that chicken thighs taste better. And then we'll see how that gets used. So we'll come back to this in a second once our coconut milk is ready. So my coconut milk has reduced until it's pretty thick and there's not very much left. And you notice it's kind of hard to see on camera, but the edges, you can see that the coconut is starting to separate. If yours doesn't, don't worry about it. Just reduce it until thick and proceed with the recipe as per usual.
Well, that's a nice way of telling people that they messed up. I'm joking. It's good to be flexible, and you do have to be flexible with the recipes. Also about the side of the pan that's getting a little brown. It's not burnt, but it is getting a little brown. Sometimes when you use a smaller pot on a gas burner, the flames will actually be touching the side of the pan and heating the side of the pan up. And since the metal on the side of the pan is not as thick, normally, depends on what pot you're using, things can burn quite easily. So to fix this, you either need to use a smaller burner, which in this case, you can't really do it, or use a wider based pan, and that way the ingredients will cook faster. But if you're making curry, it needs to be a little deep, otherwise you could have a bit of an accident.
So at this point, I'm gonna add in my curry paste. This recipe is spicy. So if you don't wanna make it super, super spicy, you're gonna wanna use less of the curry paste.
So it has the word sweet in the name in Thai, but it's not sweet. It's mostly spicy, or sweet and spicy.
So you're just gonna saute this until it's really aromatic. So again, if you are going to use less curry paste, but then you still want the paste to be bright green, because if you use less, then you're gonna have less color going on. So what I would suggest then, wow, the stove is crazy. What you can do is you can take some basil leaves, chop it up a little bit, and grind it in a mortar and pestle along with the curry paste. And that's a way that you can actually boost the green color of the curry without adding a lot of paste and making it too spicy. Anything, even spinach will work. It'll just be kind of a neutral flavor thing, but Thai basil also adds a nice flavor. And I would have done that today, but just kind of forgot about it actually.
Anytime that we're making any, say, soups or sauces and you need to brighten the color, sometimes we will add a little bit of spinach or another green vegetable. But spinach is really good because it has, well, a lot of iron in it, but it's also very dark green and you don't need to add a lot of it, because if you do add too much, it'll taste like spinach. But one little tip, if you're going to be using spinach to darken any purees or sauces, and you don't want them super runny, is to blanch spinach first and dry the spinach off, because you don't want to be adding an excessive amount of water to that. And then you can add the spinach, blend it, it'll darken the color, and voila, perfect.
Can you see that? The oil starting to bubble around the edges of the curry paste, and that's the coconut oil that is separated from the coconut milk. And then you're gonna add, at this point, your chicken.
And if anybody's wondering why are we cooking the paste to begin with, why cook the paste first, it's because it has a lot of ingredients, and those ingredients are made into a paste, but they're raw. So if you want to get more flavor and more aroma out of those ingredients that you crushed into the paste, you need to cook the paste. You can still add it if you don't want to do this, it'll sell flavor. But if you want to get more flavor and more aroma, you need to cook the paste.
And then you're gonna add, at this point, your chicken. Now, if you're using chicken breast, the process will be a little different. You will not add the chicken right now, you'll add it at the end because you don't want to overcook chicken breast, but chicken thigh, we're actually gonna let this simmer and braise. So I'll include how to deal with chicken breast separately in the written portion of the recipe. Woo! The heat.
Now guys, this is a little off topic, but how old do you think this actual video is? Before looking up the original one, just take a guess, because this video is much older than some of you may think it is, and the quality of it is really good. And I also like the way that she's working. Everything goes into the sink, the dirty dishes and everything is clean, neat, and organized. This I like. Now quickly about the chicken, you can cook or par cook the chicken breast if you're using it, but you have to take that out because you can overcook chicken breast and you don't want to.
Once it's all mixed up, I'm gonna add the rest of my coconut milk. Okay, some chicken stock. Now this is the difference. I think last time I used water, but we now know that chicken stock will add so much more flavor and body and richness that water will not add. And we're gonna bring this to a simmer, and we're gonna let it simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes until the chicken is fork tender. Now you want to give the chicken some flavor to absorb, right? So you also want to go in with some palm sugar, which is gonna add not only sweetness but that rich butterscotchy flavor that palm sugar is so great for. And also 1 tablespoon of fish sauce. This is probably not gonna be all I need, but I want to start out with this. As per usual, if you're dealing with store-bought curry paste, it's usually pretty salty already, so you don't want to overdo it in the beginning. Leave some room at the end for adjustment.
That's true. It also depends though on how much of the store-bought curry paste that you're adding, but fish sauce is a must. If you don't add fish sauce, I mean, not everybody adds fish sauce. You don't have to add it. But for me personally, I love adding fish sauce to my curry. I love it. Because in Jamie's video, he did make everything from scratch, but he didn't add a few of the ingredients that you should add. And well, I don't even remember if he added fish sauce. I think he did. I don't remember because it's been a while since we've seen that video. And guys, if you haven't seen that video of Jamie, or if you have and you don't remember it, then be sure to check that video out. After seeing this one, tell me what you think about that video.
Oh, and also I want to add my kaffir lime leaves. Kaffir lime leaves are going to add that sort of bright citrusy freshness, and it'll help lighten the contrast the richness of the coconut milk. So it's really great in green curry. We're gonna add that now because it is a sturdy herb and it can handle a bit of a simmering. It's looking good already. You know how I was saying earlier that if you wanted to boost the green color, you could pound some Thai basil leaves with the curry paste and add it? Well, if you forgot to do that like I did, there's still a way to do it. So you can take some basil leaves and put it in the blender with a little extra coconut milk and then just add it in now, and it will still give that nice boost of green color. Just make sure it's, it's fine-ish, so you don't get chunks of leaves.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, especially when you're like recording a video, sometimes you do forget things to put in or ingredients to put in, and you have to remake the video, or you have to, well, if you remember and you catch yourself, you have time, but yeah, that happens.
See, it looks nice and green already. I mean, don't make it too green. You don't want this to look like Shrek. I think that's enough. So that's probably maybe like 10 basil leaves and just enough coconut milk to get it going.
Even if this did look like Shrek, I think it would still be good. I mean, you don't want it to look super, super bright green, not neon or anything, but it's like super bright green. But still, the longer that you cook it, the more the color will start to dull. It was green as Shrek. That's a good one. I need to remember that one.
So our chicken is nice and fork tender. I tested it just now. It's perfect. Now it's time to add our vegetables. Now, last time I used Thai eggplant, which is quite common, but this time I'm going to show you something different. I'm going to use bamboo shoots, okay? Bamboo shoots, the easiest way to get them is to get them either in cans, or they come sometimes in plastic vacuum packed bags. They're already cooked because they're a pain to process. So all you have to do is add them to the pot and heat them up. Now they come in lots of different shapes and sizes. I like these ones, or sometimes they'll come in big chunks and then you can cut them however you want.
Even though the majority of the ingredients to make this Thai green curry are already pre-cooked or pre-made, like the paste and the bamboo shoots, these little things do save you a lot of time. I mean, at home, just for a normal dinner, I can make a curry in under 20 minutes, even with the rice, which is actually something that she hasn't told you to make yet.
So in these go, and we're just gonna bring the curry back to a boil to make sure that everything is hot and heated through. Look at that. So good. So while that's coming to a boil, let's talk about our color elements. So we're gonna add some spur chilies. Now, as you can see by the frost, it's frozen, and which is perfectly fine. You can freeze spur chilies. You can also use red bell peppers, and really it's just to give the curry some contrast of color so it looks much more beautiful. With bell peppers, you just wanna do fine juliennes. Okay, so once you've got that.
Fine julienne is okay. She's cutting it a little bigger, at least to make it bite-sized. You know, you don't want the piece of chili to be too big for the spoon or anything.
And I've also got one last thing, our Thai basil. Our Thai basil, we're gonna stir it in at the end because otherwise they wilt and turn black. And it's just really gonna add that final element of floral aroma that's going to round off our curry. And Thai basil works really well with spicy dishes. There's something about the flavor, the sweet smell of basil that kind of mellows out the spice a little bit. So I'm gonna give it a taste. Ooh, that's spicy. Whew. I'm going to add a little bit more fish sauce. It's a little heavy, it's a little flat right now, but just a little bit. I'm going to turn this off now. Give it one more taste. Yeah. Oh, yes. So good.
You know, I don't know why Uncle Roger hasn't reviewed this video yet, or at least one of her videos, because this is an excellent video and I think you would like it.
So when you taste curry, remember that you're eating this with rice, and the rice is going to mellow out the strength of the flavor a little bit. So make sure that when you taste it, it's really strong. Not that you're making it too salty, but you don't want to make it nice and comfy. No, you want it to really kick your senses. And so once you put it together with the rice, then it's at its happy place.
This is very true. You do have to make your curry a little stronger than you would like because the rice does do this. However, if there is somebody that is eating this dish with you and they can't take that spiciness, then you have to adjust it for them first because it will transfer through. A lot of the heat will transfer through because I've done this before with family, and well, you won't have a very happy dinner if you do that.
So at this point, we're going to add our spur chilies, Thai basil. Look how beautiful that is. Oh my God. Okay. The coconut oil that we separated in the beginning, as it sits, you're gonna start to see just little thin layers of a really beautiful shiny coconut oil, green coconut oil that's going to float on top, and that is a sign of a well-made Thai curry. And again, if yours doesn't do that, don't worry about it. It's just different coconut milk, sometimes doesn't work. So now we're ready to serve this with our jasmine rice.
Yeah, that's a nice way of saying that if you don't have those little spots of oil on top or little droplets of fat, that is not a well-made curry. I'm being a little facetious, so don't mind me.
Thailand, we eat the curry and the rice usually separately, so you won't be served a plate of rice and the curry poured all over it. Usually it's a part of a bigger meal, you're sharing several things. But at some lunch places you get that, but for the most part this is served as part of a bigger meal. And by the way, I said that the green curry is made using green chilies, and it doesn't just affect the color, it actually affects the flavor as well, because green chilies are underripe red chilies, so they have a little bit of a grassier note, whereas the ripe ones, the red ones, are fruitier, and that's why green curry has that distinct flavor that is so good. So there is our green curry.
Now, like she said earlier, she had to use the paste because she couldn't find some of the ingredients, the chilies, and it's perfectly fine if you have to use a pre-made paste. I prefer to use Mayploy. There are many other brands out there. Some of the brands have shrimp paste already added to the curry paste, so you don't have to add that separately, and others don't contain it. So you need to read all the ingredients, because if you can't get galangal, if you can't get the Thai green chilies, the coriander, the shallots, or anything else that you add to the curry paste, or even the shrimp to make the shrimp paste, if you can't get all these ingredients, and if you don't have the time to make it, then you can do what she's doing, because you still are making it. I mean, you still have to cut some of the veggies, the chicken and everything else, but it's skipping one step that would take a while, especially if you're using a pestle and mortar to make the paste yourself.
Get some sauce on it. I want to have a piece of bamboo shoot. The chicken is super tender. And not only is it tender, it's flavorful all throughout, and that's the benefit of letting it braise and simmer for 10-15 minutes. It really absorbs everything in there. And the bamboo shoot has a really nice crunch. Doesn't have too much of a flavor in and of itself, but the crunch serves a textural variety that's really, really well appreciated.
I really enjoyed that video. She did an excellent job, and this was a super easy recipe to make as well, because, well, obviously the paste is already made and everything else, but it's a very, very good tutorial on how to make some Thai green curry at home with using store-bought paste. So guys, if you do want to check out more of her content, then be sure to check it out, and also be sure to check out Jamie's video after this one, because after seeing this, you honestly do need to see Jamie's video. And if you have seen it, you need to see it again, because, well, you'll get a laugh out of it. If you did happen to enjoy this video, guys, then be sure to give it a thumbs up, give it a like, a share, and don't forget to subscribe, because the more subscriptions we get, well, we'll be that much closer to making our egg fried rice, and who knows, maybe Thai green curry, maybe butter chicken before or after that. Who knows? We don't know yet. In any case, have a great week, and I will see you again soon. Take care.
Chama por usar,